A lovely good evening. Thank you so much for joining us for the main news. Be sure to catch us live on your top study coders. We are on channel 95. We're also streaming on our Facebook page. We are Millennium TV Zambia. And also we are live on our YouTube channel, Millennium TV Zambia. We take a look at stories making headlines. Family demands release of PETAUKE lawmaker from MAINA SOKO Medical Center. Government takes action on drought economy and infrastructure, and LUSAKA Magistrate Court digs into MWIINGA'S financial affairs. Coming up in international news, Kenyan farmers assess damage after deadly floods. And in sports, Grant denies SAKALA's allegations. Details coming up after this break.
It was all in my head. Fruticana zona.
Fruticana. Feel the rhythm, taste the fun.
With the news in detail, my name is Lovisa Chinofia. PETAUKE Member of Parliament Emmanuel Banda's family members have demanded the immediate release of Mr. Banda from MAINA SOKO Medical Center to his hospital of choice, as this was his demand when he was found in critical state in Kafue district. Speaking when addressing the media this afternoon, family representative Lenny Banda claims that the family was treated unfairly by the Zambian police as they were dismissed by refusing them to have access to Mr. Banda. Ms. Lenny says upon admitting Mr. Banda to MAINA SOKO Medical Center, the hospital staff has denied the family access to see him, leaving them uncertain about his condition and the quality of care he is receiving. Ms. Lenny also reveals that before Mr. Banda was moved from Kafue General Hospital, a suspicious nurse accompanied by a bunch of police officers attempted to administer an injection to Mr. Banda while in hospital.
It was a very sorry sight for us, like a sorry sight, to a point that even when they wanted to put a cannula on him, he was saying, just give me some hot water. I don't have anything in my stomach, you know. And you could tell from the lips, which are cracked, and his tongue, when you look at his tongue, it's like swollen. It's like, according to him, he says they're trying to use like, is it a pliers or something? A pliers or something to like twist it. So you can tell even from his tongue, like he had cuts and his lips. So we got, and the police officers kept on coming, they kept on distracting the doctors, saying, no, there is a, is it Dr. something? The doctor in charge, I don't know, kept on saying they shouldn't treat him from there. They wanted DJ to be put in an ambulance right there and then and brought into Lusaka. But we said, we started now going back and forth with the police. We said, he's first getting the first aid. Yes. Look at this situation he's in. Why would you just want to move him, looking at the condition he's in right now? And luckily, we have one of our brothers who is also a medical personnel. So he was also there, like, trying to ask the doctors to say, okay, please check this. And they tried to check the sugar levels and everything else.
And family lawyer SOKO asserts that the police officer's actions regarding this incident is a clear indication that the abduction was not criminal but political.
What is clear is that
Mr. SOKO has further challenged government to ensure that Mr. Banda remains alive and must be brought back to his family alive and the nation and not in tragedy.
What is clear is that Honorable J.J. Banda was taken into the hands of the state from Medlands Hospital alive. That everybody must take note of, including the government. It is therefore the duty of the government, of Honorable J.J. and his police, indeed of the UPND government, of the President of Zambia, to ensure that the person they received alive is brought back to his family alive. It is a duty they have. They chose to intervene, and so they must make sure that their intervention does not end up with a tragedy at the end. They have a duty to ensure that JJ is brought back alive into the hands of his family. As for the Human Rights Commission, you have heard for yourselves that the family is not being allowed to see Honorable J.J. Banda.
Meanwhile, Opposition Socialist Party President Fred Membe has condemned the enforced abduction and disappearance of PETAUKE Member of Parliament Emmanuel Banda, claiming that this abduction is part of a larger pattern of violence and political repression perpetrated by UPND cadres, allegedly with support of government officials and protection of the police. Dr. Membe asserts that the well-known and armed UPND cadres have been abducting or kidnapping, assaulting, beating and publicly threatening to slaughter opposition political leaders and other critical voices in the name of protecting President Hakainde Hichilema, with the police playing a blind eye.
What has happened to Honorable J.J. Banda, the Member of Parliament for PETAUKE, is very sad. Very, very sad. This country is not going to be a good place, a safe place for any of us to live in, unless it is a good place, a safe place for all of us to live in. The abduction of a Member of Parliament is not a small thing. But this incident is not isolated. Recently, the Socialist Party reported to the police and to the nation the abduction of a young lady in Ruangwa, who was supposed to be a candidate for the Socialist Party in the by-election. Nothing has happened today. Nobody has been arrested to date. Names were given to the police of people who were involved. These are UPND members and leaders. Our campaign camp in Ruangwa was attacked at night. Our members tried to defend themselves from the attack. Some of them have been arrested and are being prosecuted for defending themselves.
Now, government has developed and approved a food security drought response plan for the period April 2024 to May 2025 so as to ensure the country is not affected by the effects of the drought. Minister of Information and Media, Cornelius Muitua, has disclosed that 84.5% of the 84 districts affected by the drought have received maize for targeted beneficiaries, with the remaining districts expected to receive relief maize in the next 7 days. He adds that government has equally approved the Joint Design Document JDD for the second Millennium Challenge Compact, which will facilitate the mobilization of $450 million in grant resources for investment in road infrastructure and other areas to support the growth of the agriculture and agro-processing sector. Mr. Muitua says government has approved the management and development of infrastructure at Kasumbalesa border through the public-private partnership model aimed at modernizing the border into a world-class inter-country trade center.
Response plan for the period April 2024 to May 2025 was developed and it was approved by Cabinet. 84 districts that are greatly affected by the drought were identified and urgent government attention in terms of immediate food assistance is underway. Government and other stakeholders through the cluster system have started responding both in cash and in kind. Support in all the 84 drought-affected districts is underway, as aforesaid. Cabinet appreciated the report from the Office of the Vice President through the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit that so far 84.5% of the 84 districts that have received maize for the targeted beneficiaries under the maize distribution program. These include Central Province, 11 districts, Copperbelt Province, 7 districts, Eastern Province, 15 districts, Lusaka Province, 6 districts, Northwestern Province, 4 districts, Southern Province, 14 districts, Western Province, 13 districts, and Lavushimanda District in Muchinga Province. This gives a total of 71 districts out of the 84 districts in which citizens are already benefiting from the distribution of...
With the looming threat of a potential shutdown of the Kariba Dam, energy expert Boniface Zulu has highlighted on the severe socio-economic implications that this could have on Zambia. Mr. Zulu has warned that a shutdown of the Kariba Dam would not only result in widespread load shedding, but would also cripple industries and severely disrupt the lives of ordinary Zambians who rely on electricity for their daily activities. He states that the situation at the Kariba Dam is at stake, is a stark reminder of the fragility of the country's reliance on hydroelectric power in the face of climate variability, which underscores the urgent need for Zambia to adopt more diversified and sustainable energy strategy to secure its future energy needs and economic stability. Mr. Zulu adds that to alleviate the immediate pain and prepare for the full impact of load shedding, Zambia must accelerate the diversification of its energy portfolio to include more renewable sources like solar and wind, as well as implementing energy-saving measures and efficiency improvements across all sectors. The energy expert has further called on government, the private sector and international community to collaborate to fast-track alternative energy projects, invest in energy efficiency and support the populace during this transition.
Zambians must brace for the full impact of load shedding. However, it's not a time for despair but for decisive action. The government, private sector and international community must collaborate to fast-track alternative energy projects, investing in energy efficiency and support the populace during the transition. To alleviate the immediate pain and prepare for the full impact of load shedding, Zambia must first accelerate the diversification of its energy portfolio to include more renewable sources like solar and wind. implement energy-saving measures and efficiency improvements across the sector, explore regional energy partnerships to temporarily bridge the gap in supply, encourage foreign investment in energy infrastructure to boost long-term resilience. Most importantly, implement cost-reflective electricity tariffs to attract local and foreign investors to Zambia's energy sector. The situation at the Kariba Dam is a stark reminder of the fragility of our reliance on hydropower in the face of climate variability. It underscores the urgent need for Zambia to adopt a more diversified and sustainable energy strategy to secure its future energy needs and economic stability. The time for action is now to ensure that lights stay on for all Zambians. While the situation at the Kariba Dam is dire, it's not without hope. With strategic planning, investment in renewables, and unified national efforts, Zambia can navigate through these turbulent waters and emerge with a more resilient and sustainable energy future in the long run.
The Lusaka Magistrate Court has heard that former Presidential Economic Advisor MWIINGA'S income between 2015 and 2021 was less than the value of the alleged properties he acquired from 2019 to 2020. Anti-Corruption Commission Investigative Officer Paul Hatakwati has told Lusaka Principal Magistrate Irene Washimanga that Ibene earned between 10 million and 15 million kwacha subsisting from 2015 to 2021. Mr. Hatakwati, however, testified that the investigations on Mr. MWIINGA'S income status did not take into account the income he earned from Africa Development Banks between 2006 and 2010. This was after defense lawyer during cross-examination unveiled documents tabulating that Mr. MWIINGA during the period under review earned over $1 million from Africa Development Banks, where he served as an advisor to the bank's executive director for Zambia, Botswana, Mauritius, and Malawi. This is a matter where Mr. MWIINGA is charged with 72 counts of possession of property deemed to be proceeds of crime valued at more than 41 million kwacha and more than $230,900 in cash. Mr. MWIINGA, 60, is jointly charged with his wife Mercy Mwenda, 56, and his son Hakantu MWIINGA for possession of properties reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime. United Party for National Development UPND Lusaka Province Youth Chairman Anderson Banda has appreciated President Hakainde Hichilema for recently commissioning works on the Lusaka-Ndola dual carriageway. Mr. Banda highlights that the construction of the Lusaka-Ndola dual carriageway is a very big achievement, not only for the ruling party but the entire nation at large, as it brings about economic emancipation for different key sectors. Speaking in an interview with Millennium TV News, he notes that the commencement of the works on this road will provide thousands of jobs for people, especially youths, living along the line of construction. Mr. Banda further adds that the road in question will also uplift the business status of the country, as goods will be transported on time, both locally from the neighboring countries within the region.
The programs, the commencement of works, it tells us that there will be more job creation now, more thousands of youths who have jobs to do, who have things to do, even in the form of businesses. There will be a lot of business activities in this road. And of course, above all, after the completion of this road, this country economically will gain a lot of positives. For example, movement of goods on time. There will be no time of factor in terms of dryment, as well as saving of lives. We've lost a lot of our beloved ones, breadwinners, in this the same road, Lusaka-Ndola carriageway. Thousands of lives have been lost, and of course, largely are the young people, because are the ones who are always active to do some activities, be it driving, be it other services. Youths are always busy, and the large effect has always been to the youths. So as a youth leader, the commencement of these works in the Ndora, Lusaka, Ndora Dual Carriageway is a serious achievement. The country has recorded, of course, through the servanthood of our President Mr. Hakainde Hichilema and his government. So we are saying thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you very much, UPND government, for walking the talk. And I think we are aware that UPND mentioned this progress even the time we were campaigning. It was one of our campaign promises that we made the people of Zambia. And we are grateful and very glad that the mention that we made the people that when we get into power, the Lord will be done.
Now, Technology and Science Minister Felix Mtati has disclosed that Zambia has attracted over $54 million in the information and communications technology ICT sector following the waiver of taxes on importation of ICT equipment. Speaking when a delegation from the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA, paid a courtesy call on him, Mr. Mtati disclosed that Zambia will be connected by optic fiber to all of its 8 neighboring countries by next month. He says Starlink, which came in last year with 100 kits, has now increased to 11,000 kits to enhance connectivity, while 379 communication towers will be constructed countrywide to increase access to phone network. And Mr. Mtati says the reduction in courier service fees by his ministry has resulted in an increase of business from 40 courier companies to 120 companies who courier by motorcycles. Kamala Ward Councillor Mainda Simata has given contractors working on the completion of the Kamala South Health Post Maternity Wing 90 days within which to finish the project to risk their contract being terminated. The civic leader was speaking when he toured the site of construction to ensure works are progressing according to the 60 days delivery time within which the contractors are expected to complete works. However, Councillor Simata was generous enough to give the contractors 30 extra days, bringing the project's delivery time to 90 days, adding that he would not tolerate any further extension beyond 90 days.
Area Councillor for Kamala Ward 5, I've just come to Kamala South Health Post to ensure to say that the project we're seeing behind me, the construction of a maternity wing, is completed. The council through the CDF has released 400,000 for the completion of this maternity wing, and we hope that it will be done in about 2 months. So I just came to do physical inspection works to ensure to say that works have started, and I'm happy that right now the SOKO way is being worked on. And as you can see, this terrain is very, very rocky. So the contractor will also have to clear the rocky area, break it apart, so that it can be nicely paved. Our mothers in this particular area and beyond are being very expectant of this maternity wing, and we are hoping that it can be completed in the soonest possible time. Thank you.
Kamala South Health Post. Chamene chipempa ise chakuti mutisegulire chipatala leba wadi msanga kuti vazimai vatandizika. As a community kuno yaku Kamala South.
Ise tufuna kuti asisegulire clinic yakuno kuti bantu akazipapira apa paleta wadi. Namanzi pano penzeri manzi so stenze kubwera kuno.
Ends our local stories. We now take a break. We have more coming up in international and sports news. Do not go away.
Chop some onions. I've been to. Into the pot. Delicious. Sprinkle some spring onion.
Have you heard about the lady who knows how to cook? She makes the best noodles with a special look. She adds little veggie, spices and meats, and serves them hot and fresh down in every street. Mama Benson noodles, hey, you make me smile. Mama Benson noodles, tasty every time. Mama B is making bento tonight. Mama B is making bento tonight. Mama B is making bento tonight. Mama B is making bento tonight.
We'll come back now with the rest of the news. With dismay etched across her face, Martha Waema, alongside her husband, surveyed their 3-acre farm that has been left submerged following 2 weeks of relentless rainfall across Kenya. Water levels would rise to shoulder height after only a night of heavy downpour on different days in April, rendering the farm inaccessible. Waema was expecting a return of 200,000 shillings after investing 80,000 shillings in maize, peas, cabbages, tomatoes and kale. More in the following report by Africa News.
Submerged following weeks of relentless rainfall across Kenya. With dismay etched across her face, Martha Waema, alongside her husband, surveyed their farm. Nearly 300 people lost their lives and more than 200,000 were displaced in March due to flash floods caused by the ongoing heavy rains. I have been farming for 38 years, but I have never encountered losses of this magnitude. This is the most devastating level of loss that I have ever witnessed. As farmers count their losses, the deluge has exposed Kenya's ill-preparedness for disasters, emphasizing the need for sustainable land management and improved forecasting.
Because this area is prone to landslides and gully erosions, we do advise farmers to do the crop strips in their farms, also cover crops and also terracing. So cover crops will allow the water to infiltrate into the ground, letting no runoff in the farm, which may cause erosion.
Kenya's government says the flooding destroyed crops on more than 168,000 acres of land.
And in sports, the Football Association of Zambia FAZ says that the strong allegations made by Fashion SAKALA Jr. against the Zambian national football coach Avram Grant, fellow players and administrators requires management's maximum attention. According to his President's Corner weekly online article, FAZ President Andrew Kamanga says that the association would not delve into the merits and demerits of the very serious accusations raised at this point, but can confirm that an inquiry has already been opened. Kamanga adds that for this inquiry to yield positive results, the association expects key witnesses, including Fashion SAKALA Jr., to tender in all the relevant evidence to the relevant body, especially the ethic committees. Meanwhile, Chipolopolo national team coach Avram Grant has refuted claims from the Saudi Arabia player as he encourages players to engage him whenever they have grievances with the coach's selection. Grant explains that players must take responsibility and avoid blame games, as the coach had his reasons for omitting Fashion SAKALA and other players from the 27-member squad back-to-back Group E FIFA World Cup qualifier matches against Morocco and Tanzania.
My father is a survivor of Holocaust. He teach me that forgive is more easy word than to ask for revenge. I don't have any personal issue with anybody. If you play good and if you will know that he did a mistake, and you will follow the criteria that are asking from the players to take responsibility, don't look for excuses, no complaints, perform on the pitch, and present the how do you say, the values of the team, anything is possible. I answered this question. I said, like all the players, you know, I said I didn't pick Kennedy Musonda. I was very angry. Now he's one of even I can say it's almost key players of us, and he's playing. I didn't pick other players, and now they behave like the critics, and now they are playing. He did something that I never faced about this. I think first thing that about, how do you say, to go back is to understand, and to, how do you say, I don't even to apologize, just to know that you made a mistake, that your job is to play on the pitch. Your job is not when someone is not picking you, to pull false accusation, to speak lies, to put garbage about your friends' players, to speak against the association that they put one picture here or one picture there, to record a friend of you. You need to know that this, he did it, but you don't need to do it. If I know that he knows that he did wrong, that he will not do it.
And that is all that we had for you on our main news this evening. But before we go, here is a recap of stories making headlines. Family demands release of PETAUKE lawmaker from MAINA SOKO Medical Center. Government takes action on drought, economy and infrastructure. And LUSAKA Magistrate Court digs into MWIINGA'S financial affairs. In international news, Kenyan farmers assess damage after deadly floods. And in sports, Grant denies SAKALA's allegations. You have been watching the Millennium TV main news, read by Lovisa Chilufia. Thank you so much for tuning in. On behalf of the entire news crew, it is a lovely evening. Do stay tuned to Millennium TV and good night.